Hello and welcome to Jake's Corner. I'm reading the good marriage stories that I asked for a few weeks ago. So we'll get some really thought-provoking things that we haven't actually considered in our own marriages previously, and hopefully implement them. Has been married for 9 years, and they met on Facebook. Three of their best attributes: he is God-fearing, he's patient, and he's honest. And the reason she agreed or decided to marry him is because of his God-fearing attitude. Need I say more? And those qualities they possess that frustrate her. He is not romantic, and he lacks emotional intelligence. And how do you manage your shortcomings? The dialogue, and she prays. That's what we need to learn how to do, in our marriages. Communicate, dialogue, and pray as much as possible. And then what are those qualities they possess that has been a value to your marriage now, several years later? She said the husband is very patient. That is a very, very good quality to have as well. So moving on to the next set of responses. So this lady has been married for 9 years, and they met through a matchmaker. Three of their best attributes is loving, is kind, is very selfless and helpful. The reason she agreed or decided to marry him is she saw the potentials in him. He didn't have all the money in the world, but he always put her first. And up till now, he still does that. He swept her off her feet at every opportunity, even when he had little or nothing. He loves her like he loves her. Wow, that is beautiful. I love it. Um, and those qualities they possess that frustrates you. His obsession with tidy spaces, his romantic man in traditional man body is frustrating because just pick one. Why are you romantic? And then why are you a traditional man? She wants him to choose one side. And he's a man who loves his Yoruba tradition but also wants to be romantic. And she's saying that the way he tries to make both of them work doesn't actually work in her own mind. But if it works for him, why not? Let him keep doing what he likes doing. The other quality that he possesses that frustrates her is his anger, and she hates it when he's angry. They disagree, but they still find a way to sort things out amicably. And how do you manage the shortcomings? I just let him be. He will eventually come around. He eventually realize and comes around. What is that quality that they possess you did not realize in the early days, but has been a blessing to your union several years later? His guide and confidence in her. Oh, this man definitely believes in me. He also stands by me when I'm having troubles with my in-laws. Even at the slightest opportunity, she knows that he will put in more than a word for her to make things easier. So I wish you, many more happy years together. Please don't forget to click on the like button while you're still watching this. And also, if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so. Let's now get back to some more of the responses. So this sister has been married for 4 years. She met her husband in the community, and three of their best attributes is his kindness, his loving nature, and he is entertaining. And the reason she decided to agree to marry him is because he proved to be trustworthy, reliable, loving, and he's from a good home who also loves her. What are the qualities they possess that frustrates you? Taking things with levity sometimes, but maybe his reason for taking it with levity sometimes is because he's trying to make it not be too heavy. Because sometimes there are a lot of issues that our men folk carry very heavy in their hearts. So maybe this is his way of making things seem that little less scary in his mind. I don't know. And how do you manage his shortcomings in your marriage? Communication, and sometimes look at things from her husband's perspective. That is really good. And thank you for sharing that. It's really good that we are reminded of these things every once in a while. And the qualities they possess that she did not realize the benefit of, but has benefited from the value of, but has benefited from it now, several years later, is his support and loyalty. Love that for you, sister. I'm now going to read the next set of responses. This sister has been married for 3.5 years, and they met through matchmaking. Three of her husband's best qualities: he's responsible, he is religious, and he is intelligent. What was the reason you agreed or decided to marry him? She said that I foresee him to help improve me in my deen. So for the non-Muslims is religion, faith. What are those qualities they possess that frustrates you? He is temperamental, and unintentional sometimes. And how do you manage your shortcomings? Through patience, prayers for God's intervention. With her being married for just 3.5 years, maybe she doesn't know yet the qualities that her husband possessed, that she did not realize the value of, now that they're several years into it. Before we go any further, I know you will enjoy the responses I'm about to read. So please click on the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And yes, let's dive right into the next set of responses. This lady has been married for 18 years. She met her husband in the university, and three of her husband's best attributes is kindness, he prioritizes her, and he is religious. The reason she agreed to marry him, he loves her unconditionally. The qualities they possess that frustrates you, he doesn't understand why she always wants to strive for more. And how do you manage their shortcomings in your marriage? They talk about it and they pray about it. And the qualities they possess that she did not realize the value of in the early days, but has been a blessing now, several years later, is the fact that he tolerates her. So I love this set of responses, because thing I've noticed is that we are very quick to talk good about ourselves, but not always about another person. But if you look at this lady's responses, she talked about, how she has her own faults and her husband accepts that about her. So I think the way she's responded, I like that so much. In long may your love continue to grow in your marriage. And I wish you both as well good health together. This lady has been married for 1 year and 9 months, and they met through matchmaker. And three of their best attributes is he's respectful, thoughtful, and caring. And the reason she agreed to marry or decided to marry him is because he's a Muslim, he's good looking, and she loves that he has a dimple. Their goals aligned, and they still do. Where they don't, it's not hard to compromise to achieve a common goal. He was honest with her from the first time they met, and he still is honest. He was not afraid to meet her parents very early on. And the qualities they possess that frustrates her. Things that have got better as we get to know each other more. He used to be repetitive. What I mean is, when I did something he didn't like, he would keep bringing it up even after I have apologized. A deep thought made me realize I was equally to blame because I repeated the same things he didn't like. But like I previously mentioned, things have got better and better now, and I hardly see any quality that frustrates me. Alhamdulillah for you, my darling. How do you manage these shortcomings in your marriage? This exercise started for me before I even got married. I lowered my expectations. In my opinion, when I want to use that phrase, that lowering your expectation, I think for me, I will look at it in a way to say accepting that we are all human. Humans will always, at one point or the other, let us down. Allah is the only one that we can 100% rely on to not let us down. Accepting that humans are built to let us down sometimes. Knowing this and knowing peace is the way forward for us all. The qualities they possess that you did not realize the value of in the early days, but has been a blessing to your union several years later. Wanting ease for me. Before we got married, he told me he does not like the idea of his wife stressing over a job. After we got married, he facilitated a training for a job which allows me to work from home. Alhamdulillah, I now work from home. So that is beautiful for you. And, I wish you many more happy years together in good health.